On Sports Tonight, it's time for us to talk Copa America Centinario. And the tournament we've been talking about for over 2-3 weeks now is finally coming to a close with the finals to be played on Sunday. Tayo Salam, Cecilia Morogwe are joining me on Sports Tonight now for this segment. And lady and gentlemen, at last we're down to the finals. We talked about the third place game yesterday, so today let's focus on the final match. But let me ask you guys, is this the dream final? Sisi, let me start with you. Is this the dream final? Should have been Brazil-Argentina, but Brazil went home a long time ago. But
they didn't even make it out of group.
Immediately, Brazil were out, Uruguay were out, so everyone actually expected these two teams to make the final. And we're having a repeat of what happened last year, 2015, with Chile coming out on top. So see what's going to happen on Sunday. It's a big one. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the biggest because both sides, the way they were in the same group. Remember?
Played the first game of that group.
Of that group, Chile losing to Argentina by 2-1. People will be saying, okay, Argentina already, they're taking their own pound of flesh because of what happened last year. But this is the main one because for the Argentines, they just want to equal the record set by Uruguay, 15 titles, because Uruguay happens to have the highest numbers of win, but they didn't get to this finals. And with the way the Chileans actually played against the Colombians, I mean, right from the very onset, I mean, towards the end of the game, even when they were already losing 2-0, and we said yesterday, if not for the thunderstorm, maybe it could have been another Mexican, infliction
demolition.
And all that, but demolition. But at the end of the day, the Chileans, pulled up that one, 2 goals they scored, and at the end of the day, they are in the finals. But for the Argentine, Ezekiel Lavenzi, the player who scored the opening goal for them, will be missing in the final. You remember the fall that happened in the final. Broken shoulder and all that, broken arm. So at the end of the day, he underwent surgery this morning, and of course, he will not be there. That's the only player we know that will not be there. Sergio Aguero, of course, will be the main man. Gonzalo Higuain, Lionel Messi, these are the 3 players that everyone will just be looking at. Look, you have to win it. I think that's why Diego Maradona actually came out to tell the team that, look, if you don't win, don't come back home.
Okay, let me come back to you, Tayo. You talk about Chile, and then we'll talk about Argentina as well. I mean, this tournament started with Chile losing 2-1. And people say that in a tournament of this nature, when you play a team 2 times, and you've won the first one, the story is always different the second time.
Well, I don't know about that. but earlier question, this is the next best dream final, if there's anything like that. I mean, world number 1 going against world number 3, they don't come bigger than that. That's according to the FIFA rankings. So it shows you it's going to be a very tight game. 2-1 in the group stage. Not a lot between these 2 teams at all. Argentina, I think they're under more pressure to win this particular tournament. They haven't won it since 1993, and Chile are defending champions. I'm sure they want to retain it as well because it took them a long time, to win in 99 years. I'm sure they want to keep it for a lot longer as well. So I'm sure it's going to be very, very difficult. And for Lionel Messi, he's getting really close, and there's an opportunity for him again to actually, stamp his authority because Cecilia mentioned Diego Maradona earlier. Maradona, he didn't score as many goals as Lionel Messi, but he's highly revered.
The record goal scorer for Argentina is Lionel Messi with 55.
Exactly, but Maradona is more revered than Messi because it led them to that title winning the 1986 World Cup glory, years ago. And because of that, a lot of Argentines actually are revering more than Messi. Messi's got the opportunity now, although I suspect even if he wins the Copa America,
we still ask more.
He still has a lot more to, to do to get to that level, to get to that status of Diego Maradona. So for me,
it's difficult to know where you put your money.
Exactly, but I chose Argentina to win it, on sport this morning. So I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to come to the Copa America segment and change my mind, obviously. So I'm sticking with Argentina, and that man there, Sergio Aguero, we haven't seen a lot of him. It's been all about Lionel Messi. It's been about Higuain. Perhaps this might be the opportunity for him to actually, step up to the plate. Zabaleta as well, too, decent player. I mean, all the teams, both sides have quality players from back to front. But one player that's going to be very key for Chile today, for me, is Claudio Bravo, the goalkeeper. I imagine is going to have a lot of work to do in Sunday's game. So he has to be on top of his game because that attacking force of Argentina is just incredible. I mean, they're going to create chances and chances upon chances, and he has to be, you know, on top of his game to prevent our goals from going in.
Well, one thing that the Chileans, I mean, as we see right there on your screen, one thing that the Chileans have been able to prove to everyone is that it wasn't just home advantage that played out for them last year when they won it. They needed penalties to beat Argentina in the final last year. Now they've shown, playing on a neutral ground, away from home, we still see the quality that they've displayed, and they are in the final again. Clearly, Chile was a lot more than home advantage the last time they won it.
Yeah, that's what it seems, because, you know, we thought then that it was actually a fluke, you know, playing at home and winning it with all their fans, you know, with them. But after watching that game against Mexico, I'm still going back to that game and everything, it tells you that, look, what we did last year wasn't a fluke. And I think the players have been able to understand each other. That's another thing that's really working so well for them. Because the bulk of the players you have right now, we actually retain. You know, they were there last year. I think that understanding is already there. Unlike some teams and all that, you have maybe shuffling, some players dropping out, and even the Argentine squad is not even complete. We didn't see Tevez in this one. He was there last year. But for the Chileans, everyone that was actually part of that squad, they're still here. So that understanding is there, and they know what it means to win. So after tasting that victory, I think they just want to keep winning and just keep it with them. But no matter what happened in Sunday's final, because Argentina, they're actually favorites to win it, I think they should be happy with the fact that in the last 100 minutes, they've been able to score about 9 goals for themselves, and keeping that with them, I think that's something they will cherish for the rest of their lives. That alone, it's something. Especially that game against Mexico that night, it's something that these players will definitely remember for the rest of their lives, whether they win Sunday or not.
Yeah, Tony, for me, usually when you get to championship deciders, you know, when you get to a final of a major tournament, they can be very, very close, and you need match winners, you know, to step up. If you have a look at the two sides, they've got match winners all over the park. I mean, Messi, Higuain, like you mentioned, Aguero can be a match winner any day. If you go to Chile, they've got Alexis, they've got Eduardo Vargas, and they've got Arturo Vidal. So it only goes to, you know, emphasize what I said, that it's going to be a very, very tight game, and whoever keeps his nerves, you know, better will come out on top in this particular one. And I think it's going to be Argentina, and better luck next time for Chile.
All right, so you are tipping Argentina to get their pound of flesh.
Yes.
They lost some penalties the last time. Tayo believes that this time Argentina will just come good. But before we close this segment, I like you to identify for me where you think, how you think this game will be won. Who are the match winners? You talked about match winners all over the team, in Chile, in Argentina. For Chile, big boost. Arturo Vidal missed out of the semifinals. They were still smooth. They were still cruising, even in his absence. Now he's back, and that can be very, very huge. For Argentina, I mean, we can just mention all the players that they will line out as being potential match winners. But where do you see this game? Where will the game be won? Where will it be lost? And who are the likely match winners for you, Sisi?
I think it's going to be in the attack. That's where it's going to be won. Because when you have two attacking-minded team, you know, facing each other, that's the key. Argentina, something they proved over and over again is that they can attack and also defend. But the Chileans, they've not really had that. Apart from their goalkeeper, who is really always at his very best all the time. I think Claudio Bravo, that's another player who also coming. Tayo mentioned him earlier. But for me, I think the attackers can definitely decide this game. If they are able to, you know, score before the end of the game, it's going to end in regulation time. But if they cannot, like what happened last year, can even go straight into penalties. But I think these players will definitely want to have put in their best. Arturo Vidal, you mentioned him, is back, he's fresh. That freshness also will give him that advantage to also want to win. I think for me, the match winner for the Chilean team, it might just be Arturo Vidal. But for Argentina, who should I pick?
Everybody.
So he is the usual suspect. I mean, it's the usual suspect. There's no point. You know, we can start reeling them out now. We're not going to leave the studio, even though we have to leave. Really simple. Just a bit of news before we go. Juan Carlos Osorio, the Mexican coach, they've decided not to sack him. So he's going to remain as manager despite losing by 7-0 in the quarters.
So they keep him. All right. So by the time we want you to talk to us about all of this on social media, keep talking to us about it. Who wins Copa America Centinario? We'll try to read your comments out to all those who are following us. But guys, thank you so much for your time. Tayo, thank you, Sisi. We'll see you again on Monday, and then we'll be able to tell you exactly how it went down in the final of Copa America Centenario 2016 edition of that competition. Thank you for watching. Sports Tonight continues in a moment. Join us again.